Die Bauphasenplanung und Verkehrsregelung in Arbeitszonen ist für die Verwaltung von Bauprojekten von entscheidender Bedeutung. Okay? So construction phasing and work zone traffic control is critical for the management of projects. So as usual, Mr. Jack Butcher never fails to deliver. So I want you to take a look at a drive through the Grenada area where that UK CIF project is being done. That is a NAWASA project where they're trying to lay some pipes along the Grenada route. Now take a look at this video and then we'll have a little discussion. So thanks again, Mr. Jack Butcher, for giving us a thorough drive-through of the project area so we can see exactly what's going on over there. It's really nice to be able to sit here and, really see what's going on via video. So there you have it. You've seen the extent of the project so far, and you've seen the vid. So basically, let me just start off by saying that again, as I said earlier, construction projects require two critical things, okay? And that is construction phasing and work zone traffic control. But construction phasing and work zone traffic control pretty much intersect, okay? Because based on the construction phasing, you have the work zone traffic control. And they're even more critical in areas that are heavily traversed by vehicles and pedestrians. And obviously, Grenadians fits the bill. So when you're doing a project in an area like that, you have to be careful and you have to plan the construction phasing and you have to plan the work zone traffic control so that traffic, as much as is possible, can smoothly move through the work zone area without much interruption. That is the aim. And that is not very difficult to do, provided that you have proper construction phasing plans. So think about it. I mean, instead of just going into a street and just hacking away, okay, without being concerned about the construction phasing or being concerned about the work zone traffic control, how the vehicles are going to safely pass around the work zone without danger to pedestrians, without dangers to themselves, without dangers to the construction workers. That is paramount. You cannot just do this vika, because again, there's danger involved. You have school kids, you have pedestrians, adults, you have construction workers, and you have vehicles moving through the work zone area. So you have to plan this carefully. If you don't, it's quite possible people could get hurt. So construction phasing, as the name implies, you phase the construction, okay? You don't just do everything at once. You don't just block off a section of a road and just hack away at the road and try to do what you're doing. No, you phase it in such a way that you can have traffic passing on the sides. For example, you can do a horizontal adjustment. You say, okay, I'm going to do the left side today, allow traffic to pass on the right side. Then when I'm done with the left side, I'm going to do the right side and then allow traffic to move on the left side. That is construction phasing. Now, of course, you have the work zone involved there, okay? And then you have certain work zone devices to direct traffic. You'll have cones, you'll have barriers, whatever you have available to use. But you'll make sure that this is done. And there's a whole design. I'm telling you, this again is a whole discipline by itself, okay? There's a whole design that governs work zone traffic control based on the physical parameters of the roadway. There's a whole design. So this is not a vika process, okay? It's critical. So you have ideas and concept of visibility. You have ideas and concept of braking distances. There's a lot that goes into it. You know what I'm saying? You have perception reaction time. You have certain tapers. It's a lot that goes into it. But it's very important in a construction site. And again, all of this ties up with your construction managers, okay? They have to manage all of this. So this is not a vika process. And another important aspect of the construction management process is that when you're done construction in a particular area, you should have your repair team coming behind to take care of any little minor repairs and any temporary repairs in place. So again, it does not disrupt traffic, okay? And it does not cause too much inconvenience to pedestrians, vehicles, and construction workers. As you can see in the video, that vehicle was just going up and down while Jack Butcher was driving through the Grenadian area. So what does that tell you? The road is very, very uneven because, of course, the road was cut and broken. So you should have a little temporary repair as soon as that construction is finished. That part of construction is finished. So you don't have to do everything at once. You know what I'm saying? Again, if you phase things and you sectionize things, then you can get a little done over a period of time. And if you immediately fix things after you break it up, then you don't feel overwhelmed at the end to have to do everything at once. So take a look at this. This is an actual project, and you'll see all the signage involved in the work zone traffic control and all the barriers and stuff like that. Take a look at this. Construction ahead. See? Construction phasing at work. See? Okay, so I'm just going to give you an idea of actual construction phasing project. This is a bridge project, but doesn't really matter. The concept is the same. All right. So here you have, for example, you have the work zone. So you even have, in this case, you even have a pre-stage, okay? And here you have, in that pre-stage, you actually have a temporary ramp, okay? And of course, this is the existing condition for the Amtrak bridge. Existing condition. There you go. And now this is actual stage 1. Okay, so this is a stage 1 construction. So as you notice, the construction is actually taking place over here. Okay, construction is taking place over here. So there's a Jersey barrier. At least the traffic is separated from the construction zone. And if you notice what is happening in the proposed stage 1, you realize they're still maintaining the traffic. Okay, and of course, this is done on a little bit larger scale, but you can actually scale down to your unique Grenadian situation. Okay, right? So they actually maintain the 6 lanes of traffic, northbound, 3 northbound, and 3 southbound, while the project is actually going on. That's not a difficult thing to do. You can actually scale down in a Grenadian situation. All right. So that was just to give you a little insight in how construction phasing and work zone traffic control works. As you've seen, you realize that the whole phasing and work zone traffic control are tied in together. So the bottom line is this: construction phasing, work zone traffic control, and construction project management. Critical to the overall success of a project, especially these civil highway roadway projects. Very important, where pedestrians are involved, vehicular traffic is involved, and construction workers are involved, and the safety of construction workers is also paramount. As part of that, work zone traffic control signs are critical, and actual physical barriers between the work zone and vehicles are critical. So I don't know the mechanics of the actual deal with this particular construction UK CIF project. Well, obviously I know it's a grant, but I'm not sure if the actual construction documents were done locally. So I'm not really sure about the whole packaging of the construction documents. I think might have mentioned early, there was some sort of German connection, something like that. I think I might have heard early on in the picture that there might have been some sort of German connection in terms of with the actual construction documents also. So I don't know, probably that is the case. But generally, if you have a package and a grant and you have the actual construction documents, part of the construction documents, you'll have work zone traffic control, you'll have signage and striping. You'll also have, part of the same work zone traffic control, you'll have some sort of phasing diagram for things to be followed. I don't know if it's a design build project where they sort of give you just a little 30% completion, where they have the basic stuff, the roadway and stuff like that, and changes to be made. And then, it's left up to NAWASA to implement a lot of other things in place. So I don't know the mechanics of that. You see what I'm saying? But if it's a full package, if it's actually full construction documents, signage and striping will be there, work zone traffic control will be there, phasing will be there. So it's just a matter of following these things. That will be a proper design. So in the continuance of this project, I suggest a little attention is paid to construction phasing, work zone traffic control, and overall project management. Then you'll have a project that's done on budget, on time, without too much mishaps. Okay, so enough is said about that, but I want you to take a look and listen to what an elder statesman has to say. This man says a few things that are very pertinent. Okay? Listen to what he has to say.
There's a dangerous idea circulating in our politics right now. The idea that if you support a party or an administration, you can't question them. That pointing out problems or suggesting improvements somehow makes you disloyal.
Okay, so you heard that? That is the first point. That if you support an administration and you point out mistakes or you make suggestion, that means that you're disloyal. Okay? So that stems from that prevailing culture right now, especially on Facebook, with these sensationalists. And as I've said before, they do more harm than they do good. So while now many people may like that sensationalism, it's like, yeah, let's go after them. And, and then some of these people that are the proponents of this and are at the forefront of this, it's an identity crisis they're suffering from. These people have nothing else to identify with. So all of a sudden, these people are not even NDC people, original NDC people. These people are Johnny-come-latelys, just jumped on the bandwagon because NDC won. They're opportunists. That's what they are. and they want to identify and feel like they're part of something. Okay? That is why, you see, it's always like that in every organization or institution. The new converts always have to pretend that they love the organization so much. So they themselves will come and do some of the most reckless things to endear themselves to the leadership of the organization. In the short term, that works well. But in the long term, that is extremely dangerous and reckless. And will come back, as they would say, to bite you in the ass.
Let me be clear about something. The government is not a person. It's not a party. It's an institution that belongs to all of us.
You heard that? Did you hear that? That the government is not a person, party, but an institution that belongs to who? It belongs to all of us. Keep that in mind. This government is the government of who? The government of Grenada. It's not the government of NDC. It's not the government of NNP. It's the government of who? Grenada.
And citizens highlighting areas where government can improve? That's not disloyalty. That's democracy. Here's the twisted logic we're being sold. If you love Grenada, stay quiet about its problems. If you care about progress, don't point out what's failing. If you want the country to succeed, pretend everything is working.
So there it is. You shouldn't say anything. Even if you see something's going wrong, oh, just sit there and take it, right? That's what you should do. The man is making some solid points. And say what you want to say about him. He is one, personally, throughout his political career, has dealt with several criticisms. They've piled on this man. Even when he was part of NDC, they piled on him. And he took it. He took it. It was a lot of pressure. I don't know how he used to take it. You see what I'm saying? But it did pile on him. So now when you see, for example, let's say someone like Jenny Simon, and you guys have much to say about her, sometimes even vile things to say about her. When she says certain things, a lot of what she's saying makes sense and is grounded in genuine concern. Okay? Now, this is the woman who was part of the whole NDC. She could have just took it easy, played along, and eat her food, so to speak, right now. But to make that difficult choice, to say, no, I don't want to be part of that. And to veer off in an entirely different direction, hey, that takes a lot of guts and courage.
That's not patriotism. That's how nations stagnate. In functional democracies, the most loyal citizens are often the most vocal. They care enough to demand accountability.
You hear that? They care enough to demand accountability. Okay? And that is what Hanovi Global Network is all about. Clarity and accountability. That's part of the motto. Every time you see me post something, you see a banner that comes up that says Hanovi Global Network. Global Politics and News. Clarity and accountability. Thank you, Mr. MP David, for reinforcing what I've been saying. Thank you for adding clarity to what I've been doing for months. And so much of what I have said has actually come to pass. Thank you again. You, sir, obviously understand the mission. Grenada first.
They love their country enough to refuse to watch it underperform. Some of the strongest supporters of this administration, people who campaigned, voted with conviction, are now afraid to voice legitimate concerns. They worry about being labeled traitors or troublemakers. That's not healthy democracy. That's control through fear. And opposition voices, they're not automatically wrong simply because they oppose.